I felt called to do more channeled messages. And as a psychic medium, I tend to get the most messages early in the morning. One of my friends and networks, they were asking me if I was a night owl. And then I was asking him if he was an early riser. And he's like a little bit of both, long days. And I'm like, same. I know that my sleep patterns have been off. You might experience that, some of that at this time. And it is because of your intuition and the things that you're picking up of the energies around you. Very Piscean energy. So, if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I'm a tarot reader and intuitive coach for the last 6 years. I'm more of a Facebook small group and Instagram reader. And then I merged onto YouTube in the last few years. So, I'm kind of new, kind of not, kind of the in between. I do feel like I'm supposed to be creating something different. I do plan to launch a product that is, it's not my product. It's technically Miriam, my mentor's product. And it's partially the reason why I've kind of like slowed down on the tarot reading stuff and got more into channeling and other parts of the spiritual industry. I think there's going to be things added into my business. And for me, it's not just a hobby, it's a whole lifestyle. I'm a straight up witch. And I feel like the tarot readers on YouTube, they tend to vary. There's even been some that have left that I used to watch, and then they I don't know, dumped it and went to Christianity and said that tarot is evil or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a spiritual psychosis, honestly. But I do feel like at least I'm trying my best. It might be an Aquarius thing to make my channel as different as possible. But there are a small group of readers on YouTube that I like and that I watch consistently that I do plan to collab with. So stay tuned. You might see me in other people's chats sometimes. Psychics can feel me, psychic to psychic. We can feel each other's energy. So they usually like call me out in the chat and they're like, hi, synchronistically. And that's how I met my mentor, Miriam. She used to be Point Your Compass on YouTube, and then her channel got shut down a few times. And then a bunch of us kind of banded together to kind of protect her. And now they are Book One's Revolution on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. Heather has merged businesses with her. She's amazing. I love her. Sometimes she's in, not always. I believe she's working today. We do have lives outside of this. It's very hard to make a full-time living as a tarot reader. No, I have it. It ebbs and flows. Like I said, there's different parts of my life into the business, but I feel like I need to say that as we haven't done a reading like this yet. And at first, I was going to just make a video, like a channeled reading video, because I like the videos where I can put notes. Do you guys like that? If you've seen the playlist for the intuitive channeling paintings, those are pre-recorded and I go through and edit, not a whole lot, but enough. And I put notes throughout and I kind of use my Gemini rising to express myself as some of my people are more visual and showing like pictures and notes is kind of helpful for reference. Whereas lives, I feel like are a different, somewhat interactive vibe. Hi, Jenna. 806. Oh, wow. Your voice is so calming. Thank you. I appreciate that. I beg to differ. I don't think so. A lot of people do compliment my voice, though. It's interesting. Bless God, me 11. Is he cheating or is it just me? He's a Taurus and I'm a Gemini. I am sorry to hear that. You should check out the playlist that I just put for the person thinking of you. Also, the person on your mind and what's the tea. Those are free readings. Unless you need a personal in depth, go ahead and check out my links. I just did update the website. So there are new offers. And I feel like the lowest grade tier is more universal for people that could not afford an in depth reading. And so let me know what you think about that. Otherwise, we do tarot reading free questions every now and then. So subscribe and put your alerts on if you're interested in participating in that. We do have a couple of moderators, but they're not always available as they volunteer their free time. As you know, I'm also a moderator on other people's channels occasionally, mostly Miriam and Heather, Woke Ones Revolution. But recently, in the last 6 to 7 months, I had to take a step back to kind of focus on my own stuff. And then from there, Miriam birthed a product that I'm very, very excited about. So, you know, those birth chart generators, right? Now, I keep saying it was our idea, but it's basically Miriam's work because she has the formulas for the charts. And she is an astrologer. I am not an astrologer. I use astrology with my readings and my methods, but I in no way would ever call myself a birth chart reader or an astrologer. I do sometimes offer free birth chart readings only if I offer it because it's a free service that I do for my own study. But with that, as I've been Miriam's guinea pig basically for the last 6 years that I've known her, and Heather too, because that's kind of how she met Miriam and merged her business with her. But Miriam basically created something to where it would basically solve you being addicted to tarot readings. You want answers, you could basically put in your chart information and person B and get all the answers for you. So before you ever move in with someone, before you marry someone, commit to someone, start a business with someone, merge, whatever, whatever, entangle with someone, before you invest into someone, you would put your information into this generator with your birth charts, and it would tell you what this would look like if you did. The obstacles, the pros, the cons, the nitty gritty, their sleep schedule, what motivates them, what are their desires, what is their shadow aspects and the worst parts of them. You got to know what you're getting yourself into. We all have them, right? And so if you're interested in that, any day now, and it's not just something that we're giving out to the public. Like, I think we're now at to the point where not selling me, giving me a seller's agreement for me to sign, and then I need to go get it notarized. There's legalities with it, and then I give it back to her, and then it's official, and then we launch. But for now, we're just kind of talking about it. I really want to just know I can't afford money. I'm barely paying for a hotel room. Trust me, I feel you. I'm a mom, if you didn't know. It's also how I put food on the table. So yes. Information and abundance is a gift. To tap into someone's energy is also a special talent and skill that does drain me. I do talk about that a lot in some of my videos. If you're curious on that, go ahead and check it out. They're all kind of random. I do have some playlists going on. I do free questions occasionally. You'll have to keep your alerts on because they tend to be random. You're watching from the Philippines? Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Did you know I'm a quarter Filipino? I have a whole Filipino side that migrated from the Philippines. I don't know where, but I have pictures and I will dig into that ancestry soon one day. But I have been trying to reach out to that side of the world. So I'm really glad that you told me that. I've been waiting for confirmation from spirit that I'm reaching people internationally because apparently apparently that's where most of my people are. I mean, technically I'm multicultural and most of my ancestry are immigrants. They're not from the states. So it does kind of make sense, right? I think we have enough people in the room. So let's see, what channel messages do we have? Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. So this is giving me the feeling of frugality. Queen of Pentacles could be someone that has a home business or works remote, but it's also the feeling of working with what you got and making the most of it, like having flour, sugar, blueberries, and making blueberry muffins, you know? Oh, really? That's nice. Yes. Welcome in. Welcome to the tribe. Colby? Colby presents. Everything I typed is absolute fact. I don't believe we saw what you meant. Temperance and the Seven of Cups. Considering options, strategizing, and then I heard delayed payment. Could be working with other people or someone else specifically on this. Might be wanting to move your work around. Still early, you guys. I made myself an iced coffee. That feels like a channeled message too, like yummy drinks. I don't always drink coffee, but I used to be a huge coffee drinker, so much so that I'm pretty sure it contributed to my seizures. I don't think being highly caffeinated is good or for everyone. I think it's just something that the the culture these days pressures. Looking more as rest being productive. Some of you might even be considering a vacation, even if like you feel like you can't afford it. Like it might be like I'm hearing road trip, but gas costs money as well. But it could be like banding together resources. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are feeling that. At my limit. I know I am. Double tap if you feel this way. Is it because of all the fire energy and the astrology? No? No one else? Seriously? Just me? Well, I do have a Mars in Aries. If you guys haven't noticed, the last, I'd say 1 to 2 years, Neptune has been dissolving things, including people's dreams. But I would look at it more as refining your dream and going towards your destiny. So some of the things that you might have wanted in the past could have been due to ego and not so much what you actually wanted. We have any conspiracy theorists here? Is it really a conspiracy when it's all true? It's all true. And that's what Neptune has been doing, just FYI. Show me more. I was gonna do channel messages without cards at all, but I really like these cards in the morning, and I don't know why. Yeah. So it's almost like your comfort zone could be to your detriment, like it could be harming you. And technically everybody has a north node and a south node. And your south node would be your childhood traumas, the things that were ingrained in you from environmental and circumstances, peer pressure, whatever, whatever. And then you go towards your north node, which is more your soul's purpose, destiny, fate and karma is there, your more evolved, higher evolved state, right? And so you might have boxed yourself into something because you felt comfortable being there, even if it was harmful, even if it was painful. And now you're seeing that there are certain changes that you have to make that you weren't wanting to make. But ultimately, if you make them, you will get what you want. Does that make sense? It's kind of like the obstacle is the way, which I say a lot. It's also a book, a really good book. Check it out. Sometimes towering birds grow in other lands. Yeah. Like, okay, so some people would say that moving to a different place does not change your circumstances. But I think sometimes it very much well can. If you place yourself in different environments, your body chemistry changes. And so I don't know who started that quote. Who started that quote or that rumor? Because I think to a degree, yes. I think you carry your problems and your burdens with you no matter where you go. That is true. But you also can't grow and evolve unless you place yourself in different experiences. Um, and it's kind of up to you on how you manage that. You can adapt and grow and evolve in that environment and experience, or you can go back to your old ways and not. Or it could just like not be the right environment for you. Obviously, use your discernment. But if you see yourself in a cycle and a loop and you swear and take a knee that you're doing your best and you're humbling yourself and trying to work on yourself, then it's probably you just need to get out of where you are, which seems to be the case here. Water cannot explain why it often wanders. That always throws me off. Why? But true, true. It just is. Water just be. Water flows, which would make sense. Like, say the Queen of Pentacles came up in the beginning of the reading. Say this is impacting your money. Your environment could very much be impacting your abundance. That's something that my mentors and I looked at with our astrocartography charts. So you might want to look into that as well. If you've never heard of that, there's free generators out there. Don't ask if I can do it. It's crazy to me that people like, I don't know, want me want me to do these things for free. And I'm just like, if it were that easy, you would have had that information by now. I was like, what makes you think I have that kind of time or energy? I was like, It's self study, self study. All that information is out there. That's why you pay your people for readings. Okay. Did you know that kings and queens used people like us, psychics, mediums, astrologers, astronomers, to help them make very important, informed decisions. They got paid well, if not paid well, treated very well. And yet, here is the general public treating psychics, mediums, and healers and readers like they're trash. I think that's the patriarchy. I think that's a spiritual attack on us, personally. I got to clip that for later. End rant. End rant. No, not end rant. I'll probably talk about that again. Let's be real. Maybe that's a channeled message. Like maybe you could have a gift or do something that's completely out of the ordinary of the other people around you, or you have a specific niche. And it's almost like pushing against the grain. I was just talking, I brought this up quite a few times, so I'm not surprised that this is a channeled message. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen clips, and I was watching someone on TikTok about manifesting, and they were talking about the Truman Show. And I guess in that movie, Jim Carrey is in it. He basically goes through life like everything seems fine, everything seems great on the surface, but every day just seems so redundant, and he just starts to feel like something is wrong even though every day is pretty much the same. Nothing is really going wrong. And then one day he just chooses to take a left. It's kind of like that rabbit hole theory. You get curious enough to go in a different direction, and then all of a sudden, what's weird is the people around him start pushing back. It kind of reminded me of the movie Inception with, gosh, who is that? Oh, did I block it out? Leonardo DiCaprio. It's that dream movie where it almost feels like you're in a simulation and you're the only character that's conscious, and then everybody around you just like starts looking at you funny and like wondering why, whatever, you're going off script, is what it feels like. It is exactly the same when you are jumping timelines and breaking out of the matrix. And so often people, when they go through this awakening, they feel crazy. A lot of the times they might backpedal a lot and continue in those cycles and those loops with people around them, trying to get them to stay in this narrative, in this storyline, in this box. I say, fuck that, push back. Straight up, straight up. Channeled caffeinated message. And I think your people will find you too, right? Energy meets energy. I'm also getting like root chakra things. You see how this turtle is on a bunch of pennies? What's that about? Are they pennies? Looks like pennies to me. Confirm in the chat if you see this. And you see how the armadillo has that protection? Oh my gosh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Yep, that's a lie for you. I had something and then it went away. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's just talk about the chapter that we're supposed to be walking into collectively and generationally. We were in Pluto and a Capricorn. I'm sure you've heard this a lot, but I want to say it coming from an Aquarius sun because I am a prime example. I'm basically being used as an example by the universe, um, because we're walking into a Pluto and Aquarius time. So a Pluto in Aquarius time would be humanitarian, a revolution, um, going against social hierarchy, kind of taboo, kind of weird, kind of different, raise your freak flag kind of vibe, right? But Aquariuses are also known for their friendships and their networks, which is odd, right? Because we are also known to be lone wolves and kind of have a detached perspective. Now, from my experience as an Aquarius, I've been like basically being asked, and my spiritual lesson is to deepen my connections, my friendships, and hit a different level of intimacy, which has been surprisingly hard for me. My friend groups have definitely been purged out and refined. I definitely went through the purge with my separation and divorce. So, this might be a channeled message of other people that will be going through that if you haven't already. Um, but in Pluto and Capricorn, it was a very isolated energy. And think of like, the pandemic and COVID times and the restrictions with that. Psychologically, it did something. And Pluto and Aquarius is basically to recover that, but also bring attention to Pluto things. Now, Pluto things would also be Scorpio things, which means things that are hidden. Could be secrets about death, sex, and taxes. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, if you have not been dealing with those kind of subjects, or you're dealing with people and things, with most of us are, there's really no one on this earth that is not dealing with, on some level, death, sex, or taxes in this lifetime. You will experience something of that sort. This also is karmic debt and taxes. So this can be past life stuff. This can be soul contract stuff. Which also means while we're going through this purge of Pluto and Scorpio, Capricorn energy, we will be coming into more friendships and connections. But it's going to be more tight knit, I think, because we're almost going backwards in time to when gosh, I have the dates on my Instagram and Patreon, but off the top of my head, early 1800s, 1870s, 1940s, 1960s, 1912, or just years that are popping into my head. Those kind of movements, not just in the United States, but in different parts of the world. You might want to check out. I know that you can find it in your birth chart, and actually, Miriam's product that we will be sharing soon would actually answer a lot of that, because she does a lot of past life regression, and not all astrologers do, and she is very, very, very significantly good at it. Not good, great, amazing. Anyway, that's what I got out of all just this one little card. Your friendships are basically your family, and it's also going to highlight the shadow aspects of technology and also social media, because we have these friends online, right? These followers, these subscribers, whatever, whatever. They're not your friends. They are not your friends. They are not really people that you can go to at the end of the day and it be your emergency contact, and that you should trust with your money and things like that. Like, so I think people are realizing the nature and the lack of privacy with technology and social media, moving about it differently. I know a lot of people are getting the ick from like influencers and blah blah blah, and like I despise that word, because I know people have called me that, and I'm like, well, if I make an influence, that's great, but there is no way in hell I've ever called myself that. um I would call myself a creator, because that's what I do. I create, and that's the energy that I tap into with my chakras, is my creative energy. And so if it resonates and influences, that's great, but I think that celeb culture is really dying out. Kundalini energy. This also speaks of addressing the elephant in the room. It's not just being a truth teller or speaking your truth, it's also the discernment on how and when. Good morning, Brandon. Ali Yaley 946. Hello from France. Hi, welcome in. I'm so glad to see other people from different parts of the world. That's why I wanted to do a different time for a live. So I'm glad it reached you. Welcome in. I do free question lives. If you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe and keep your alerts on. Otherwise, you can check out my links for a personal read. Be careful of pride and ego getting in the way of a choice. I think the hardest part about whatever this is remaining receptive. Because you could have been like a deer being chased by a dragon, energetically, obviously. Not really. Calm down. Sorry, I had to mute you because I had a cough really bad and it sounded gross. No lies detected. Okay. Also, what could be an obstacle and what has been the resistance is you feeling like you're too new and too much of a novice to do something or you don't know enough. But I think that's the key here, right? The earthworm kind of overlooked quite a bit, right? Yet it has such an importance in our soil, which impacts our food. We would not be alive without food, right? Except they're genetically modifying our fruits and vegetables and cloning our cows, probably. Don't get me started. Brandon, I just picked one up off my patio when I took the trash out. A worm. No, really, Brandon. I love that. That's a synchronicity, maybe. Maybe this message is for you also. It talks a lot about birthing something new, but also being a novice and not really seeing your potential and your importance in a role. And notice how in this picture he's like wrapped up in a coil, and then in the middle, that's where the magic happens because he's creating the magic, literally. And then see all these other animals around him that benefit. Everything is connected, everything is interconnected. I think it is a spiritual attack to make us feel isolated, cut off, and that we're alone in things. And that's just like, it's just not fucking true. It's not true. So I think getting nectar from other people around you, your connections, is going to be very useful in whatever endeavor you're going towards and whatever chapter that you're walking into. I think this is really collectively for anyone and everyone. Um, I've also been telling people trade and barter. So important right now. So important. If you can, do it. I just like it. I think that also comes with a level of trust, but you can't, someone's got to give, right? Someone's got to make the offer. Brandon, I sent you a message on TikTok. Yes, I did see it. Sorry. Sometimes, like, I see it and I won't respond. I was like, especially if, I got all the platforms. But yes, I did see your suggestions. Thank you. I still haven't gotten around to it. One of these days when I have some binge time, because I have scrolling limits. Just FYI, you guys. Like, I have a Gemini rising, a Virgo moon, which can mean that I can get sucked in if I don't, if I'm not conscious and aware. It's like the best way I could describe it. And so I do think it's good for people in general to like have reminders and limits to scrolling because I mean there's a whole manipulation behind that as well. But however, thank you for finding my channel and I'm so happy that this popped up on your algorithm. I trust more the YouTube algorithm than I do with like Meta and other things. Like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like six. Hi, Jane8875. I don't understand the wording, but you might have to reach out for a personal reading or keep your alerts on for free question lives. Can I talk? When is the next Mercury retrograde? We have one every season, right? The energy has been moving so fast that there's been some transits that I have missed that went completely over my head because I was sucked into an actual life experience from one transit. Can anyone relate? Like I was talking to one of my coaching clients and I was telling her like what's going on with the astrology and she was like, I haven't even had a chance to go look into that and blah blah blah. I was like, that's okay. It's not your job. It's my job. It's my job as a Gemini rising to give you that information and tell you that this is what's going on. You're not crazy. You don't have to stay in the loop, you know? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, you guys? July 29th. Oh no. No. In the middle of summer. Ah. The last time I had that retrograde, I don't think things went well for me. Does anyone else have struggles on Mercury retrograde, or do you have like no idea? Divine protection here. I did see Sag energy earlier. It would make sense because of we're walking into a whole. I I say chapter, but it feels like a whole other series to a book. You know, say the collective had a book, it would have to require like a whole new cover and everything. Brandon Bailey, it's in Gemini as well. Oh no, Mercury retrograde and Mercury in Gemini. Oh my gosh, July 29th, you guys. Mark your calendars. Because I know I will. I'm going to actually put that down right now. No, no. No, 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 no. July. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon's doing his Gemini work so well. Thank you, Brandon. I read it wrong. Oh, you're pretty sure my Mercury is retrograde in Mercury, July 29th. I'll have to look that up. What were we saying? Sag energy, which would also speak of forgiveness and a level of alchemy. Yes, I think that would make sense. Releasing things as you're nurturing and creating something. And the ego, this could even be a message to myself because I've been struggling with some things like that. I was like, the ego wants to hold on to pain and a grudge, right? And just like, I don't know, our own ideas and beliefs. But when you manifest from that frequency and that vibration, it will show. It will impact your abundance, which impacts your business, money flow, your household, everything and anything, right? Material. You got to look at everything as energy. And so I think that's what spirit is encouraging and getting you away from and helping you recognize. Um, and to deepen bonds, you do have to learn to forgive because not everybody is going to show up 100%, 110%, maybe some days not even 80%. Do you know what I mean? I think some people might have very, very high expectations for their friends, but also don't realize like how human we are. And then we put people on pedestals and then we don't, there's a loss of connection, right? Connection is understanding, connection is empathy, connection is asking questions like, not how are you as in small talk. It's really how are you really? And I think you're really feeling that. Other people are feeling that. July 29th is correct. Okay. But as far as like the astrology transits, I kind of want to check out what else is going on there. It's still so early, you guys. I feel like I have like things pending, and so I could kind of hang out for a while if you wanted to. Like I'm basically waiting for direction from spirit. My life is like on a temporary little pause. And so I am to be of service. Amy has taught me a lot. We talk on Facebook. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you connected with Amy. Yes, she's a great person to talk to. You know, you don't know what me and Brandon are talking about. Amy is also from Miriam's network. Brandon also came from Miriam's network, and that's how he found me. But one day, Amy reached out to me. It was a very hard day. I was, I was, I don't even, what was happening? So much was happening, but I was crying. I was crying very hard. I could not see how I was going to make it another day, really. It was that kind of day. And she just like messaged me on Facebook and she sent me a voice message and she was like, "Hey, listen to this." And it's the most beautiful sound of rainfall. My anxiety was really bad. And she just basically just talked to me. I don't even remember what she said, but I could feel that she had compassion for my situation and that she could feel me through the ethers. She's like, I can't be there for you. This is the best I can do, but I just want you to know that you're not alone. in this. I think that's the hardest part about awakening and being conscious is that it is such a lonely road for a lot of us. Um, and I tend to attract a lot of black sheep and scapegoats. And with that, we tend to be at a distance from each other, you know? But she has the sweetest heart, truly. I've sat with her a few times to do birth chart digs with Amba, who is also amazing. I know that Miriam and Amba plan to do their own little collab together. I say little, it's probably anything but little. Let's be real. Amba is great with her own interpretations with astrology and birth charts. I don't know how to describe it other than it's different. It's so interesting when we all sit together and look at it and our different ideas. I would say I'm the most quiet. I'm a wallflower and an observer. When I look at birth charts and I see the lines, none of that shit makes sense to me yet, you guys. Like intuitively, it makes sense, but not in the way that they all read it. I feel like I'm being led in a different direction, and I don't know if it's something that I will do. Miriam says I will. Miriam says that I'll be leaning more into astrology, and I was just like, I feel like basically the product that she's pushing out is like gonna take all that away. Well, not really. Like I would still have to do studies, but it would basically pinpoint and put like a finger to a line in a book is the best way I could describe it. Anyway, I love that we can all share our gifts and our information. And I don't know about you, Brandon, but it's been really hard for me to find my people that I feel like are on the same wavelength that can understand that kind of language. It could just be my experience because that is supposed to be my experience is kind of my tribe finding me. And so there's a message about that there is staying in your light and your integrity despite what other people might be pressuring you to do or wanting you to do. And staying in your own autonomy. That seems to be a theme right now. Brandon Bailey. Yeah, I don't have many people that understand. I don't care either. I am also to the point where I don't care that much. I feel like I'm still kind of in the environment where I'm around people where it's painful to watch as a witness. It really is. Other times it's laughable. Other times it's very, I would say, I don't think I'll ever find a good word for it. But I would say it can be devastating. Um, but I've had, I think, more specific karmic entanglements that I had to work through. Whereas other people, they might be more free. However, this is my life path year of freedom. So I also think that the timing of my life path year has something to do with the collective also experiencing that level of freedom. And what is freedom? Like, can we just like sit on that? What is freedom to you? Is it something that's in our birthright? Is it something that we fight for or earn? And are how free are you really? Are you? Like how tied are you to your material items, your choices, your career, whatever, whatever. Like if you were to like really get in touch with your spiritual self and your identity wasn't tied to what you have and what you own and what you did and blah blah blah, who you know, what you're connected to. Those kind of feel like pending pending thoughts. Brandon Bailey. People are dumb. I take care of my mother. I'm not free at all. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I also have responsibilities. I get to go to my friend's farm sometimes. That's about it. That's nice. That's nice. I love that for you. I just love farm life, really. Like, this card gives me, Polly has been, I was going to say sunbathing. That's not what it's called. Forest bathing is what he calls it. I didn't know that this was a thing, but I love it. But basically, you just detox in a forest and you let the trees do its spiritual work. I'm sure that he could go more in depth of like what that means because I didn't know like it was like some kind of ritual phenomenon, but I know that I found myself doing that many times. We do have a reflection in our chart, me and Polly, because he's a Virgo and I'm a Virgo moon. And so when he was telling me about this, I had like visuals of all the times that the only thing that could really bring me peace was being among the trees. Like my soul just instantly felt pulled in that direction. Um, and I truly think that trees are alive. There's some videos out there where it's been proven that plants and trees carry some kind of frequency, which could mean that they can talk to you, right? It might be worth not necessarily isolate and cutting off and being alone, but finding balance and taking time out for yourself to do this. Because when you're grounded in your own energy and you drown out the noise, the more likely you can hear source, God, universe, angels, guides, ancestors, however you want to put it. Take what resonates and what suits you. There's that yin energy again. Be open to receive. I think we'll stop there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please double tap to like the video, like, share, and subscribe. We'll probably be doing more of these random channeled messages. I don't even know what I'm gonna put the title for this. I'll have to think about it, I guess. But until next time, bye, Brandon. You have a good day. If I'm quiet, it's because I'm making my mom's lunch. Oh, you're so sweet. I hope you guys have a good day. See ya. Bye.